there is a pack that needs to be fired up at this point, James. And there was a broom that came out as well.
Yeah. Okay, so I gotta say, I saw game one of this series in Boston, and Kyrie went just nuclear in the fourth quarter of that game, and the way that Tatum, they got that one stop by trapping Kyrie late, and then Kyrie made a mistake, and then ran out the clock, shot clock ran down. He threw it up top to Durant, and either Tatum or Jaylen Brown was all over him. He had to throw up a prayer. It bounced off. They decided not to call a timeout. Came up the floor. Ball ends up in Jaylen Brown drives it down the court, ends up dishing out on the corner or free throw line, standing out to Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, he really wanted to shoot that fucking ball with all his heart, but people were running out at him at full force, and he held it last second. And luckily, Jason Tatum was trailing the play, and he kept cutting. And as Marcus Smart got into the paint, he saw him, and then he dumped it off to Tatum. Kyrie didn't see, kind of got blindsided by Tatum appearing so late. There's only so much he could do. Tatum has the presence of mind to make the spin move and then lay it in. Game time. And I'm like, this was a great fucking game. This series is going to go down to the wire. These crowds going to be fantastic. And then
we had Kyrie saluting people from behind with the middle fingers.
That's what made it so awesome, was the fact that he was giving it back to the crowd while he was giving them fucking work. And I was like, this is going to be awesome. And then all these games except for the last one were all relatively. These games were like no one got blown out, right? Like, or the Nets would have the lead and they would lose the lead, or like the game would be close, but like the games weren't as close as the scores indicated, because it'd be like, damn, like the games 3 and 4, they're both like, damn, these games are both like within 10 points, but it's like you never at any point felt like the Celtics were going to, ever get stopped enough for the Nets Nets were never getting enough stops to where they could actually make it a game. It was just like after that point, they were just basically jacking up shots between them, and they just had to be going in on both sides until like the last 3 minutes of the games ended in the games 3 and 4. But it was just shocking to see, for me, like Kevin Durant looked like that. I've never seen him play that bad. In games 2 and 3 in particular, like obviously he balled in game 4, but like the series is already over. That was weird. Kyrie was really quiet after game 1. Really, really quiet. I think he averaged like 16 points the last 3 games of the series. And just watching the series, looking back over, is like, we should have known this. Like, not only did we know the Nets were going to play defense and weren't going to rebound because they don't have enough bigs or whatever, quality bigs. Like the same thing that happened to the Nets the last couple years after Kyrie left with Kemba Walker, it got exposed that like they don't have one Kemba Walker, they have like 3 of them. Like having small, like we've seen this from years, like teams like the Clippers, when they had Chris Paul and JJ Redick starting backcourt. Like when you have a small backcourt, you're going to get fucking pounded by bigger wings. And when you have Marcus Smart, who's a shooting guard playing power forward, Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and they're all of them are that's like a 6'3", 6'4", and then a bunch of, and the other 2 are 6'7" 6'8" like. It was a long day at the office, and like weirdly watching Durant get guarded by Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, it reminded me almost of like 2007 Dirk being guarded by Captain Jack by Steven Jackson, and like Matt Barnes was like, they're obviously don't have the lift to challenge his shot most shots, but like they're almost like pushing him off the spot and getting underneath him in a way that like we haven't really seen happen to him since like the Memphis series when Tony Allen was putting him in jail in 2014 at times.
Yeah.
So,
it wasn't going to be as simple for him, and it will not be as simple as him to just start lifting weights now. Like he's gone 15 years without lifting weights. As Brian Danielson once said, there's not enough weights he can lift over a summer to build himself back up and build that wanting to commit to the weight room. So like that stuff is gonna as he ages, it's gonna be like what essentially gets him out of here.
Right. And my question is, how much is that people actually saying this? How much is this my crazy cousin Alex saying that nonsense? Because he's the only person I've heard mention that.
That's just for him.
Yeah, okay. Because it's like, nah, man, just like, and that's the thing. Looking up, you look up, and in a flash, we're in year 15, or we just saw year 15 of Kevin Durant in a flash.
Right.
Like Kyrie, what, year 12?
Right.
Yeah. So, it was just weird to see, like the Kyrie thing. I can get it at certain points. Like,
look, we don't know if he's on this planet at times, so like we don't know where his head's at a given day.
Yeah, plus the fasting thing, which is like this new element, which is like, when did this become a thing? Because this was never a thing with him ever before. It's like, oh, so he changed religions.
Well,
I'm not going to get into that right now, but like just watch this.
Since he played in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, he played a little bit last year and he got hurt and he ended up missing, the rest of that. He missed as they went deeper got to the second round or whatever else. But it was just really weird to see like two dudes like Kyrie and Durant both just kind of get like worn down / didn't want it in a way. Because I don't think it's the end of the world. I think at this point, like outside of Michael Jordan, like pretty much every superstar like of Kevin Durant ilk has like one bad series or one series is like this where he's like, yo, this person was not the person that he's been, outside of the rest of his career except for this one. So literally Jordan's like the only one. Like it's fucking ridiculous. But like literally Jordan's the only one. But yeah. So just seeing Jason Tatum, like, I mean, I kind of thought Jaylen Brown. I thought there was more to Jaylen Brown just being a person that might make an All-Star game or two, like in the bubble in 2020 when like they're the Heat were beating them down. Jason Tatum he's only getting bad shots. He's only getting a bad diet of shots. The only person that can get to the hoop is Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown taking upon himself to get into the paint and create from there. And I was like, this is something that he was not capable of doing last year, the year before, and all that kind of stuff, right? So I was like, okay, this was going to be an all-star. Tatum, me and you were like, Tatum's going to be a multiple-time all-star. We saw that shit by his rookie year. We were like, oh, yeah, this is going to be a multiple all-star. Now, I think he's going to be like, a potential first-team All-NBA guy going in the future. I didn't necessarily think that, but that looks like that's on the table for him now.
Yeah, it was almost like a real life changing of the guard or real time changing of the guard. I felt good about the Celtics before the series. And what it is looking like right now across all the series is, and over the league, like it's like these teams that are these microwave teams are getting exposed thinking it's a game when they're like, oh, we can just get the 7th seed and then we'll just try to roll in there. And this has been true the last couple of years. We'll just try to roll in there as a 7th seed and then try to take down these teams that are gelling, that are growing together, that are like, the Celtics have been together quietly for 5 years now. And it's like, of course they were going to beat these guys that were barely playing together, that I don't know if they played 20 games together this season.
I think Kyrie and Durant played like 21 games together all year.
Like,
keep in mind, like Kyrie didn't even play 30 games this year. He scored like things like 26, some shit like that.
Like it's teams like the Bucks, like the Suns that have just kind of added Chris Paul to this well-tuned, well-built machine. Like, and it's like these teams that are like taken, like they're basically we're coming out of last decade into a new one, and they have completely. Like them being together, like and all that is proven to be more valuable than these microwave teams that are just kind of hoping, to come together and accomplish something rather than the people that have been building and putting it all together. Like, we can take a look at like the Raptors have a foundation in place and they look like they could shock the Sixers right now. The Sixers kind of have like one foot in both philosophies, I feel like. But
I think they're obviously they have Embiid, but like don't get me wrong, like they still that core they had when they had Seth Curry still, and they traded him to get Harden and all that. Like they took a chunk of what their roster was at the beginning of the year to get that, and like Harden, even before the season or the postseason started, like Harden did not look like, outside like the first 2 weeks in Philly, he did not look like the James Harden we had saw last year, and from 2012 to 2021, and like that's the shit we talk about when people were always on him about like, bro, forget like the playoff chokes or whatever else. It's like, bro, oh my god.
Add Memphis, add Minnesota to teams that are being built.
Bro,
Ja Morant, of course, to the Warriors.
Bro, Ja Morant just caught this shit back below his waist to dunk on somebody.
Please tell me it was Karl Anthony Towns.
No, it was Malik Beasley. He dunked on.
Okay. I wish it was Karl Anthony Towns, but
holy shit.
But Memphis, another team that, like, these teams are being well built through the draft, and they're scouting and developing guys, and it's like,
hey man, hold on, man. Nike, Adidas, Jordan, whoever, New Balance, Under Armour. I don't know who has these shoe deals.
Lee
who has who to
Young.
what? Hey man, you stupid. Look, I'm sorry. Devin Booker and Ja Morant need their fucking shoes. I'm sorry. They need fucking shoes. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't know. I don't care about your whole thing about there's only 5 players in the league that can have their own central line. Bullshit. If they can do shit like that, they need their fucking shoes. Oh my, bro, pull up on Twitter, bro.
I gotta pull it up on Twitter. All right.
Oh my god, it's an all-time dunk. It's an all-time dunk. It's an all-time dunk, especially because it's in the playoffs. Like, it's basically like the guard version of T-Mac dunking on. Oh my god. Yes, it's like the guard version of T-Mac. Bruh, it's like the guard version of T-Mac dunking on Sean Bradley.
Oh, that's D'Angelo Russell.
No, wait. It'll pull up. You'll pull up when you see Ja Morant dunk on this dude.
Oh, that's an old one. My fault.
Right.
And that one was even insane. Hold on. A lot of people saying best dunk I've ever seen. Best dunk, crazy dunk.
Bro, it's an all-time dunk. It's an all-time dunk.
I got it. Good fucking God.
He detonated on that dude, bro. He detonated on this man. He exploded on that man.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I never. Whoever that is, Malik Beasley, you need to leave the league. Like, you gotta go. You gotta sit out the rest of the season. Ask Ben Simmons how to do it.
All right, so you were talking about continuity with NBA teams.
Yes, and it's proven. It feel like it's going back to the old way a little bit, and I'm a big fan of it, especially like last year with like the Bucks and like what they were doing, and then with the Suns even doing like with Chris Paul. I feel like that's I feel like that's still like a natural progression of their team.
It is, because it's. You build your team, you get close, you trade for one final piece to try to get you over the top. Like the same thing the Bucks did with Jrue Holiday.
Right.
Like I don't like it's so not like it's not like we're gonna we have nothing, or we may have one piece and we are just going to like then like turn over the entire roster over to all max level players and then a bunch of replace level players along the way with
this was the big problem with the Nets. Like, and then both of us are familiar with that book that came out. I've never in my life seen an organization bend over backwards to please a set of players and like let the set of players. And then we hear Kyrie talking about he looks forward to running the team with Joe and Sean. And I'm like, in what fucking reality? Like is he coming from? Like, he is like so completely on another planet. It may be flat, who knows, but it's like, what makes you think that you, of all people, who can barely show up as it is when you're on the court in the playoffs, and then who knows if you're even going to make it to the court based off of any various outside of the court things. I feel like this is a major L for the player empowerment stuff, and it shows the value of organizations. Like, these people have jobs for a reason. They have the job of a coach for a reason, a job of a general manager for a reason. Like, trying to circumvent the process to have everything catered for you is blown up in the Nets' face in a way that I've never seen it before. Now the Lakers are pretty bad right now. The
fucking title.
Like we got a title out of it and it's gone to hell since, but
agreed.
But
Agreed.
this right here, they couldn't even get out of round. They have won one playoff series in 3 years.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about it is like, bruh,
this is a way bigger failure than the 2004 Lakers. Eons worse.
Yeah, like the thing that kills me, or not kills me, but the thing that's like just surprising to me is like, just last year they smoked the Celtics in 5 games, smoked them. Like with the way they beat them last year, because they still had Kyrie before Kyrie, had the injury, and we were like, yo, what? We thought we saw them 3 together. Finally, we were like, yo, what the fuck is this? What are we going to do? As it like offensively, what? There's no answer for this. And even then, like they still almost made the final or made the East Conference Finals. If Durant's foot is a shoe size shorter, they still would have made the finals and may have won the title. And like to go from that to this is like, how did these? Obviously, they had a team that had talent with Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert and Jared Allen, and then they traded all these pieces away to then they traded Allen in particular to get James Harden. They didn't want to start, and then you had like the players telling Chucky Atkins, don't start Jared Allen. We want to start DeAndre Jordan, even though he's had a fork out stuck in his back since since what? The
players are bad scouts.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's the same reason why like the GM Doc River shit didn't work. It was like you picked the people that were good when you played or the last people you remember were good, and like they're not good anymore. And you still think because they look the same, they're still good. And like and the thing that like gets me is with this particular team is like if you want to, there are a few people in the league that I'd be like, look, if this is my franchise, I think with the average franchise, I feel like this person could help. I would want to seek a partnership with this player, or whatever else. It would be like LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. The problem is, it's not just Kevin Durant. It's Kevin Durant plus his homeboy and his home. And like, this is a thing.
And Kyrie's the leader,
right? And that's what I was getting at. Like,
I'm sorry, Kevin Durant. Yeah. How many times have we heard Kevin Durant talk about all I want to do is hoop? All I care about is playing the game. And I'm sorry, bro. That's not the job. Like the job is more than just hoop. The job is leadership. The job is like going and
answering the tough questions, being able to like own up to some shit maybe you're not comfortable with and stepping out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Like if all you want to do is ball, I'm sorry, that's not good enough. Like, and that's the thing where we're not going to give LeBron too much credit on this, but like when LeBron was trying to get Tyronn Lue in there to coach, is because like there would have been at least one person in the building that would have been able to stand LeBron and be like, no, that's bullshit. Fuck that. We're not doing that. Because LeBron has that, because Ty Lue's had that track record of telling LeBron no, or you're not doing enough. So like, at least he had the self-awareness to be like, maybe there might be times where I will fuck, but I need somebody to hold me accountable when need be, as opposed to just look the other way because I'm LeBron James. Kevin Durant doesn't have that.
They were talking about they don't need a coach, and damn, it looked like they didn't have
collaborative effort. Remember that? Collaborative effort.
Yeah, Kevin Durant, I couldn't imagine leaving the Golden State Warriors for Kyrie Irving, essentially. Just one of the most baffling, dumbest decisions in the history of the league, in the history of any league. Then we got Kyrie. We talked about him, and he's got contract, concerns and stuff going forward. His resume starts to look shakier. His
every year we get past 2016, it looks like.
And then like you add up like the amount of games that he's played for a lot of his seasons and stuff like that, and it's like, bro, like you're on the court for like actually how much of the available games in your career?
I think he's only played like the equivalent of 60 games in a season like 4 times ever.
Yeah, that's insane. That's like, and it's not necessarily just
obviously a lot of his like stupid injuries and knick-knack stuff, whatever else. And like, don't be wrong, like a lot of that is injury, but some of the stuff is like the last 2 years or 3 years or 3 seasons, 3 seasons, 2 years has been like shit that has like, bro, you're not everybody can not show up to work for shit like this.
And then I've saved the best for last. Ben Simmons, bring your ass to the stage. I saw a man who has quit on his college, his country, and now his team, multiple teams. Because I don't know why. Because he's mentally fragile. He's a loser. He's a bum. He's weak.
You know, last year, was that like June when they got eliminated last year? Because, you know, the season was, you know.
Yeah.
I think it was June last year. We fucking tuned him up. And I was like, you know, I still giving this dude the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, I just like, nah, he can't play in Philly ever again. Like I was so upset for Embiid, how much I like Embiid as a player in his game and what it took for him to get from Kansas and losing the weight and the back injury. And like a lot of people thought he wasn't even gonna be able to play this many games, let alone this, and didn't do this. And then he like left, you know, stuck with this fucking guy that has no heart.
None.
And somehow I have even less respect for him now, a year later. He ain't like,
look,
all
man
this stuff
didn't play and his value went down. Unbelievable.
Yeah, like he look, there is some bail I'm willing to shoot him on the mental health stuff, but I'm going to use the Bomani Jones line. I am not far enough in my journey to absolve him of everything that is going on. Like at some point you have to play basketball. Like people have talked about the ridiculous not ridiculous, like the colorful outfits he's been wearing, whatever else that are attention getting because the whole backdrop of, you know, the Brooklyn crowd and the Brooklyn sweatsuits are all black. And he's out here looking like any dressing like young Dro with all you know, flip flop colors and whatever else. I don't really care. Like wherever you wear it, that doesn't bother me. I don't care. Apparently, about some people, I would say chill out, but it is something to be said about like.
Look, it wasn't like this man was showing up to the game dressed like Walt Frazier or something.
Yeah. It's something to be said about like, yes, the organization not to put him in that position, they should have just ruled him out, and then if he was ready to play, they could have just changed that ruling. There's no rule against that. However, like Ben Simmons was talking and saying like, I'm ready to go, this, that, and the third, and then like when the chips are down. When the chips are down and they need a big defender, a big wing defender, instead of all these small fucking guys, except for Kevin Durant. Oh, my back. You're back again. Like,
this phantom back injury that's come up out of nowhere.
This back injury that never ever pulled, that never showed up at any point until after he left that one practice when he was getting fined money to start showing up to Sixers camp. Then he showed up, and then he obviously has a back injury, and then like it hasn't been resolved since then. But now he's ready, but now he's not. And like, see you in October next year, or see you in October in a couple seasons, like, or seasons of the year. I'm just like, hey man, like it'd be one thing for me if like people still, you know, saying they think this is a legitimate injury. But the reporting on this is that nobody fucking believes him. He's the boy. He's the boy who cried wolf. He has zero credibility in these streets. Face card ain't worth a damn. And like, if everybody else feels this way, that I gotta say, like the people that are around this reporting this, am I supposed to believe him?
This is a heartless quitter who's afraid to play offense on the basketball court. Like, I don't get it. A couple comments. Dylan says Ben Simmons is the quitter that motherfuckers thought CM Punk was for years. Crudler says Ben Simmons was sewing the back like Matt Jackson.
Nah, Matt Jackson sells the back better than him still. That's like you could be halfway believing that Matt Jackson's back was fucked up. How bad was his back fucked up for? He was working Melts for like a year, 2 years.
He worked it for like 3 years.
Well, at some point he realized he got worked.
Yeah.
But like from basically like 2018 through 2019 or something like that, or maybe 2017, 2019, he was like, you know, I don't know, you know, his back. Like he was, you know, like he was talking about Matt Jackson's back the way he's talking about Tanahashi and that biceps.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, man, you just got to get it worked on. You gotta tough it down and just deal with it. Take time off. Can't just thug it on. You can't just thug it out like this. You can't just do it. And shut up. He's working you. But
yeah, Ben Simmons. Yeah. Like a man who embarrassed the people from his country. He's just. I've never had less respect for a professional athlete than I do for Ben Simmons. It's like you played in Philadelphia for 6 or 7 years. You are the reverse Allen Iverson. You are someone that does not wear your heart on your sleeve. You are someone that the teammates cannot trust under any circumstances. You can't deal with an ounce of criticism. You have the thinnest skin I've ever seen.
Bro, do you remember those quotes that came out about like out of his camp before the season started when we were at the impasse about like the money and whether or not he was gonna show up, and he was talking about how he was still upset about like the after they got eliminated what Embiid and Doc Rivers said, and all Doc Rivers said was he was asked the question of, do you think that Ben Simmons could be the point guard of a championship team? And his answer was, I don't know right now. And then Embiid said, like, I think the turning point in the game was when our guy decided not to dunk a basketball. That's not criticism, or that's not overly harsh criticism. Like, what is
soft?
Like to see, soft. And to see what like Marcus Smart said about Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum earlier in this year about how like they're not setting guys up to facilitate this at a third. And then Marcus Smart said, you know what? We don't have a facilitator since we, did the trade to get rid of Kemba Walker. I'm going to put it upon myself to basically become the de facto point guard for this team. And he's the one that brings the ball up. He's the one that's it's a shared thing between those three with the ball up top. And it's like, do you see Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown like just like, nah, get me out of here? No. They're like, okay, I gotta criticize. I'll say this. Think of the stuff that Kyrie as a shoot first point guard has had to hear about him not being able to facilitate and set up stuff or whatever else. Think of like, can you imagine Ben Simmons walking into Philly in the way that Kyrie just walked into Boston and gave him 39? No.
Look, and they were teammates. These were the two people that Kevin Durant had to depend on, which makes it just even funnier. Where it's like, you go from this model of just this machine of consistency, back-breaking excellence over half a decade, and then literally for the unknown. Look, who knows that a global pandemic is going to come? Who knows that you have an anti-vaxxer, flat earth teammate who, has to now fast. Who knows that you're gonna end up trading for James Harden, and then he's gonna be looking at like Kyrie like, hey man, why are y'all letting this dude get away with this? And then he's gonna be like, you know what, get me the fuck out of here. And then y'all essentially traded James Harden for Seth Curry and Andre Drummond. Look, and the rest of the roster is just in shambles. Like Patty Mills, like is a solid player. Joe, what's his name? White dude. He's hurt all year.
But he's hurt all year.
Exactly. Like,
he'll be back till next year.
They're just filling in holes. Yeah, they're filling in holes, like pulling dudes like Bruce Brown out of nowhere.
Here's the thing, though, right? I mean, given how Joe Harris performed in the playoffs, every time he's been in the playoffs, what did they exactly miss him? What are you gonna do? Oh, he missed more wide open threes.
Yeah, about that. Ben Simmons absolutely does Ben Simmons have less trade value now or last year?
I mean, he's a year older, so it had to be less, right?
I would think it would be less because at least last year he still got traded for James Harden. Who's gonna trade for him now?
Yeah, they're stuck with that one. They're stuck. They're like, look, I would not. I would suggest they don't do anything rash or whatever. But then again, like I said, this same shit about the Clippers the year after the bubble when they blew that 3-1 lead. But the injuries, Kawhi blew out his ACL or whatever else the next year. So we still haven't seen that full team in a playoff thing since the bubble. But like, bring both of their asses back. They need to tell Kyrie, we're not putting up with your bullshit, whatever else. And they got to have some honest conversations with each other about this. And they said, let's run this shit back and we'll see how this goes. Now, If they fail after that, give it 1 year, and after that, then it's like, all right, well, this shit just ain't gonna work. We got to ride this shit out, or we got to find places for people to go after that. I say blow it up next year as opposed to blow it up this year.
Yeah.
Am I giving them too much patience?
No, because like you can argue that they just still haven't even seen what it all looks like, but it just keeps blowing up as they're trying to get out the blocks with this shit, and it's just like, is it gonna be even worth it by the time we get to that point? But Kevin Durant has to take control of this team, like whatever happens, like as far as from the player's standpoint, like cede some of that control back. Y'all are not playing NBA 2K My GM mode in real life. Y'all need to stop this. Like let the organization organize.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And it's like you see that team that they had. And they turn to like what happened with the Clippers when in the bubble, where it's like you look at the team they had before Paul George and Kawhi showed up, and it's like there's a bun in the heads of like we had this tight knit thing, we held each other accountable, and these two show up and like y'all can't say nothing to them because of their status in the league, and then like is that with the Nets plus like they've gotten rid of everyone. Like I think Claxton's like the only person left from the team originally.
Yep. A lot of Lakers stuff is similar with that too. Like, there's no one, like it's all been turned over at this point. So
yeah,
yeah. But I guess we should get to